Somewhere above your head right now, roughly 10,000 refrigerator-sized satellites are sliding across the sky at 17,500 miles per hour. Every single one is a coin dropping into a massive corporate vault. This diagram compares historical public offerings, showing the $2 trillion valuation SpaceX targeted in its April 2026 SEC filing. That target dwarfs Saudi Aramco's 2019 record, positioning SpaceX for the largest public offering in history. If that pricing holds when the stock starts trading, Elon Musk becomes the world's first trillionaire. The launch business that made Musk famous is seeing growth flatten as the customer list stabilizes. Meanwhile, its artificial intelligence subsidiary burned through almost $10 billion in 2025. Starlink is the primary driver of this $2 trillion valuation, generating the high-margin recurring revenue that the rocket business lacks. This chart tracks Starlink's revenue. From under $100 million in 2020, it surged to $11.4 billion by 2025. Shifting to gross margins, Starlink operates at 63%. That leaves legacy satellite operators in the low 20s and mobile carriers in the 30s far behind. That cash flow is generated by 10 million subscribers spread across 155 different countries. The business adds roughly 20,000 new customers every day. Because the physical network is already built and orbiting the Earth, the marginal cost of hooking up a new user to an active satellite cell is almost zero. By flipping the basic economics of delivering the internet, Starlink has become a high-margin cash-printing mechanism. While residential plans provide a steady baseline, the real scale is found in commercial sectors, where bandwidth is rented at a heavy premium. The global cruise industry, companies like Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and MSC, have effectively migrated their fleets to gigabit-ready Starlink installations, replacing older legacy contracts. Commercial aviation is undergoing the exact same retrofit. In 2025 alone, over 1,400 commercial aircraft were fitted with terminals across carriers like United and Lufthansa. Look at this visual scale balancing subscriber value. A single maritime customer generates roughly $34,000 a year in recurring revenue. That equals the financial output of about 17 standard residential homes. By wiring the oceans and the skies, the Starlink service has become the inescapable backbone for global corporate logistics. Starshield is the classified military-grade sibling to the consumer network, built on a hardened version of the standard satellite bus. Deep integration with U.S. intelligence agencies, specifically a major contract with the National Reconnaissance Office, pushes Starshield's projected 2026 revenue to $3.2 billion. That pipeline expands. The Wall Street Journal reported SpaceX is positioned to receive billions to build satellites for the government's Golden Dome missile defense architecture. Through these overlapping classified programs, the U.S. government relies on Elon Musk as a general contractor for American national security space infrastructure. Direct-to-cell technology is an asymmetrical growth engine designed to cover 400 million people carrying compatible smartphones. To secure the bandwidth for this, SpaceX executed a $19.6 billion acquisition of EchoStar spectrum licenses in late 2025. The plan relies on deploying heavy V3 satellites that deliver high-speed data straight to a stock smartphone. When a user in a dead zone streams a video, their legacy cellular provider pays SpaceX for the relay. Once those frequencies light up, the company becomes a direct competitor for every cellular subscription on the planet. If these consumer, commercial, and military engines hit their targets, Starlink tracks toward becoming a $30 to $40 billion revenue business by 2028. This bar chart comparing active satellites in orbit highlights the total absence of viable competition. SpaceX controls over 10,000 active satellites, completely dwarfing Amazon's late-stage beta and the combined 300 satellites from Chinese state-backed projects. That absolute dominance creates a systemic bottleneck. Global military defense, from trenches in Ukraine to Pentagon procurement offices, is entirely dependent on a single private company. Regulators now face a situation where critical, planetary-scale communication infrastructure rests in the hands of one individual who frequently spars publicly with heads of state. When the SpaceX ticker flashes on the NASDAQ in June, investors will be buying into a low Earth orbit toll booth where the rent is rising.